Alright, so we got a revision on the wire harness. They now have a new, better wire harness that's simpler to install, and it also offers high beam, low beam between the two lights. So you can actually have one as your high beam and one as your low beam. And here's the new wire harness. That's it. That's everything. It's that simple. You got the OEM plug for your headlight. Bullet connectors go into the LED lights, and the trigger wire. And that wire comes right off of that little right there, and we'll show you how to connect it, and then it just runs simply right up to the front. Nice and easy, one wire. And headlights are now high beam, low beam. Alright, so first step is to unplug this little plug here from your regulator. The instructions show you have to unbolt it, but obviously just take a flat blade screwdriver, press it in there, and you can wiggle the plug out. It's a really tight fit because you've got all those blades there. The friction of those is holding it into place, but you can obviously easily, a little work and screwdriver, just pry it loose. All it is that little clip right there to wedge a screwdriver behind it, and then you can just push down and pry it loose. And you want to get it out here, and you're going to basically remove one of those blades which goes to your headlights, and instead of having the power running from this regulator, which is like stupid high voltage and burns out everything, you're going to run that directly to your tail light power wire, and that will send the electricity up to your headlight at 12 volts instead of 40 plus volts coming off of this thing. Alright, once you get the plug loose, you just want to work the little rubber boot back and have access to the yellow wire. You're going to take a small little pick and stick it in there, and that will release that yellow wire plug out. And then you'll put all this back right where it was, and you'll have the power wire coming from your tail light wire to that, which will then return up to the headlights. Easiest thing to use, one of the little micro screwdrivers. Use a paper clip, anything to press down that release. Once you press that down, this will pop right out. And that's it. That's basically your modification necessary. Now you've taken that away from the regulator. You pull that out of the back of the boot, put the boot back on the plug, and put the plug back in the regulator. Real simple. Alright, next you're going to run the included white wire to that spade plug. You're going to take the heat shrink that's included and put it over it to keep it nice and waterproof, and then you're just going to shoot it with a little bit of heat. You can use a hair dryer at high setting. You can use a butane torch from a distance. Just to make sure you take your time, don't try to melt it. All you're doing is trying to heat it up, and it'll shrink down and cover up the electricity. Then you're going to run the wire up and back to your tail light plug, which is right here. Attach the hot wire, and you can see this plug is right down here. Now we have an aftermarket tail light on ours, so the colors might be slightly different, but it's basically going to be the bottom wire. So when you remove that plug from the little holder there, with this on the inside, the way it came off of it, you're going to tap the bottom wire. That's your 12 volt hot wire. You can test it with a voltmeter if you want to be sure, but it's going to be the bottom wire when you have that clip lock here facing towards the inside of the bike. Obviously if you take it and you twisted it upside down, then it would be the top wire. But with that facing this way, it'll be the bottom wire. That'll be your 12 volt hot, which will then fire off your headlights.